Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campea, and this is a special user-submitted video. Now, every day on the John Campea Show, Monday through Friday, people send in live questions using the tip feature or using Super Chat, whatever. But sometimes they send in these really big ones, like $50 or more. And when they do, I like to honor that by answering those questions in their own standalone video. And that's what we're going to do right now by taking this question from Alex Haina, who writes, Episode 9 has been sitting at an 86% audience rating since it opened. I don't think it's fixed, but isn't it a little suspect that it hasn't moved once from 2,000 to 68,000 reviews? Just seems statistically unlikely, so I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Alex. And what Alex is referring to is that a little while ago, not too awful long ago, Rotten Tomatoes made some adjustments to their user ratings because their user ratings used to be like average user ratings used to be useless because you didn't even have to have seen the movie. And what would happen is a lot of times, like certain movies would get review bombed even before the movies opened by tens of thousands of people who clearly have never seen the movie yet. And so what they did was they made an alteration where since Rotten Tomatoes and Fandango are owned by the same company, they were able to tell if somebody bought a ticket to a movie with Fandango, then they were able to then submit a review for Rotten Tomatoes. So you see, basically speaking now, it's not 100% foolproof, but basically all the user ratings you see now on Rotten Tomatoes are verified that they actually saw the movie. So that's an important distinction that they did, and I thought that was a good move on their part. That being said, that's not what we're here to talk about. So basically, since about 2,000 user reviews were submitted for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the user review rating hit about 86% and has stayed there ever since, all the way up to about 68,000 views. And actually, you know what? I will double check right now. I believe it's still there. Hold on a second. If I type in Rise of Skywalker, Rotten Tomatoes, I'm just going to double check this right now just to see where we're at. And as of right now, well, right now it's at 87. But I know I looked at it yesterday and it was 86. So I take that for what it is. Bottom line is, though, is this. Is this really unusual? The answer to that is no. It's not that unusual at all, actually. See, here's the thing. The thing about getting these statistics and averages is after a certain point, you are able to basically start to get a general feel about what the breakdown is going to be, particularly when you only have two options. And on Rotten Tomatoes, you got two options. You liked it or you didn't like it, and that's it. Now, for me, on the John Campea Show, about 3 or 4 times a week, we'll do a question of the day, right? We'll have the John Campea Show question of the day, and I'll put up a little bit of a poll, and the numbers will change a little bit. But what I have found personally in my experience with doing the show is that once we get over like 300 or 400 views, once we get over 300 or 400 votes, the average that comes out generally ends up being the average. So whatever the average is at 500 votes, by the time it hits 3,000 votes, it's usually still the same. Now, with Twitter polls, sometimes it gives you like 0.1, 0.2. So instead of 51 versus 49, it might be 51.1 versus 49.9. And sometimes you'll see those point number changes a little bit. Like maybe it'll go from 51.1 to 51.3 or something like that, right? But quite often, once you get over a certain threshold, the average becomes settled and you see what it is. Now that changes a little bit when you have more than just two options. So when I put up a poll that has 3 or 4 or 5 options, each new option you add exponentially grows the variable, and you're going to see a little bit more movement. Still not much, but you're going to see a little bit more movement. The bottom line of all that is this. Yeah, once you hit about 2,000 votes, what the average is going to be the average. Whether you have 2,000 votes or 200,000 votes, it's roughly going to be the same. Once you get a big enough sample size, like over 100 votes, 300 votes, 500 votes, 1,000 votes, 2,000 votes, whatever, the idea is you now start to get a picture of what the average is, and it's generally going to stay at that. Not always. And I think if Rotten Tomatoes had like the number 0.0 and the number 0.1, you probably would see a little tiny bit of fluctuation. but even then, probably not much. So no, this is another conspiracy theory about some people. Look, I don't even like The Rise of Skywalker. I don't think it's a very good movie. That's just me. And if you liked it, that's awesome. I celebrate that. But this is yet another conspiracy theory, much likened unto when, Captain Marvel, crossed $1 billion. There was a conspiracy theory that Disney bought out all the theater tickets. Remember that? I know it's pathetic, but it is what it is. This is just another conspiracy theory like that. So I wouldn't put any stock in it whatsoever. Question is, guys, what do you think about that? Maybe you have a different point of view on that. If so, I'd like to hear it. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Thanks a lot for being here. My name is John Campea, and until next time, bye-bye.